What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome back to my channel, and it's Thursday, which means that I am uploading my Week 3 preview and predictions. There are some pretty interesting games going on this week. It should be another exciting week in Big Ten football. Let's look at how my predictions fared last week. I didn't start out too great. I think I was like 1-2 for the afternoon games, but I slowly improved. And last week I was 4-2. Of course, one game did get canceled last week. That's why it's not 7. But overall, I am improving. I have a record of 8-5, which I think is pretty good, and I think I can only improve on that this week. So to kick off my preview and predictions, again, I talked about it in my last video, but as of recording that video, there was no cancellation. This game has officially been canceled. So the Wisconsin Badgers case is continuing to rise. They are not playing. Kind of had a feeling this one was going to get canceled, and it did end up happening. For the second week in a row, Wisconsin is not going to be playing. It's going to be against Purdue. This could have been an interesting game. However, they are just not going to play this game due to rising cases in the Wisconsin locker room, which is completely understandable. You don't want to put anyone else at risk. So who knows when we're going to get to see Wisconsin back on the field, but it's not going to be on Saturday. Now getting into the games that we know are going to take place. First off, the Northwestern Wildcats, who are 2-0, get to play at home against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Of course, Nebraska did not play last week. They would have played Wisconsin, except that game ended up getting canceled. Obviously, this could be an interesting game to see here. Northwestern is only favored by 3.5 points, the over and under being 54.5, and all of the over and unders and lines I'm giving you are as of recording this video. This game, again, on Saturday. It's going to be a noon game on the Big Ten Network. I'm definitely going to be tuning into this one. This one seems like a really interesting game to watch. Northwestern's been playing well. Nebraska played a good Ohio State team, and they played it well for the first good 20 minutes. The question is if Nebraska can last longer than 20 minutes. Now, I know that Ohio State team wears you down and everything. This is a Northwestern defense that has looked really good this year, so it might be hard for Nebraska to get a whole lot going on offense. I have a feeling this one's going to be close. I think 3.5 is about right, and I am picking Northwestern to win this game. Not taking anything away from Nebraska. I definitely would have picked Nebraska. It's just Northwestern has looked so much better than my expectations, and I think that they're going to move forward and win this one. This one really was kind of a coin toss for me. I think this could go either way. Could see Nebraska winning this one, but again, Nebraska had a week off to prepare for this game. We'll have to see how they adjust. And this Northwestern defense, man, it's one to be reckoned with. It's going to be a great matchup, but I am picking the Northwestern Wildcats. Another noon game, Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. This one is going to be on ESPN. The Michigan State Spartans going to go to Kinnick Stadium and face the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, Iowa has not had a strong start. They are 0-2, but they find themselves 6.5-point favorites in this game at home, with the over and under being 46.5. I have a feeling this one could be close too. For Michigan State, we've seen two sides of maybe the same coin. We saw Michigan State that turned the ball over 7 times against Rutgers. Then we saw Michigan State that looked really good against Michigan and ended up pulling out the upset. But on the flip side, we looked at the Iowa team that they've just been close. They were close against Purdue. They had a good sizable lead against Northwestern, just couldn't close it out. So this Iowa team has been close, but not really getting a win yet this season, as not really to be expected. If you're close and you're a decent team like Iowa, you're expected to pull ahead, but Purdue's playing well and Northwestern is also playing well, so nothing taken away from Iowa there. I think Iowa's finally going to come out top in a game this year. Now, Amir Smith-Marset is not playing in this game. He got in some legal trouble, so will not be playing in this game. I talked about that a little bit on Tuesday, but regardless, I still think Iowa is going to win this game. The question for Michigan State is, what was the real Michigan State? Was it the Michigan State we saw against Rutgers, or the Michigan State that we saw against Michigan. That's going to be a big question for the Spartans coming into this game. I feel like Iowa's going to win. Again, developing a young quarterback like Spencer Petras is always hard, especially not a highly recruited young quarterback like Spencer Petras was. So it'll be interesting to see how well he's played well, just hasn't really gotten a whole lot involved in the point category. Not a lot of touchdowns this year, if any. I think he threw a couple against Northwestern, but not a whole lot of touchdown production from Spencer Petras. I expect that to change in this game, even without his top target in Amir Smith-Marset. And I think the running game is going to be a big factor. Iowa, to me, is going to get their first win of 2020. All right, this game is going to be at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Big Ten Network, and it's going to host the Penn State Nittany Lions, who are unranked for the first time since 2016 against the Maryland Terrapins. Two of these sides are really interesting how they played out this season. Penn State, you don't fault them at all. They played some good teams. Indiana looks really good, and Ohio State, of course, is the team we all thought they were going to beat. On the side of Maryland, it's two sides of a coin again, much like Michigan State. They did not look the part against Northwestern at all. They looked abysmal, awful, could not get anything going on either side of the ball. Then come in against Minnesota. We expect more of the same from Maryland, and they flip the script. They look pretty good. That could be deceptive because Minnesota's defense is probably not that great. I think a lot of people, including myself, have higher hopes than what really should be expected. But Minnesota's defense, not really all that great. Penn State finds themselves favored by 25, and for good reason. Penn State is clearly the better team, and I do have them winning this game. They're down so many weapons, but this is going to be a game that Penn State is going to want to win. I think they're going to bounce back and win this game big. Again, this one is 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Big Ten Network. If you care about lines and stuff, 25-point favorite for the Penn State Nittany Lions, and 64 is that over and under. I'd take Penn State in this one easily. This could be quite the interesting game. We know Illinois is dealing with some COVID issues, while Minnesota, again, I keep mentioning it, but that 11-win season, this team is not performing like that at all. It's the Minnesota Golden Gophers against the Illinois Fighting Illini. This one also at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also on the Big Ten Network, which I found that quite odd. Don't quite know how they're going to get the Penn State game and Minnesota game on the Big Ten Network, but I guess they can just air it on two different channels. So I'm sure the Big Ten will figure that out. But I intend to watch both of these games if I can. Minnesota, of course, have not looked the part at all. Their offense is there. Their defense is not. Well, you look at the Illinois side of things. Now they're starting to deal with COVID issues. Brandon Peters is going to sit out some games because of positive COVID test, as well as their young starting tight end. He is also out. Don't know how many more players are going to be out this week for Illinois, but it is a sad tale for Illinois because I thought this team could be pretty good, especially with Brandon Peters at the helm, but now that he's gone, they have to turn to their third or fourth string. It looks like they're going to go with their fourth string like they did against Purdue. They could have made a comeback against Purdue. They made it close, but ultimately did not pull that one out. And for Minnesota, I need to see improvement on the defensive side of the ball. They've given up way too many big plays. They've given up 49 points and 45 points. One against a pretty good team, so you don't fault them there, but the other against, I think, what most people consider a not so very good team in Maryland. So Minnesota has got to improve defensively. You see they are favored by 7 with the over and under being 61.5. And I have Minnesota in this game. I don't know how much of an improvement their defense is going to make, although I do feel like it is going to be an improvement. I honestly just feel like Minnesota here is going to pull out a win against Illinois. I think Illinois not having Brandon Peters is going to be a big factor in this game, and it's ultimately what I think makes Illinois lose this game. Now, Illinois has played well against some pretty decent teams in the past, and Minnesota, I just think their offense is going to be too explosive, and it's what is going to win them this game and get Minnesota their first win of 2020. All right, now we move on to the nightcap in the Big Ten. And for the second week in a row, it features the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are a 38-point favorite against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. This game is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Big Ten Network. I'll be paying attention to this game as well as the Clemson-Notre Dame game. So those of you that aren't huge Big Ten fans but still watch this channel, hey, I appreciate it, first of all. And second of all, should tune into this game and that game as well. That's going to be a huge one. But talking about this one now, the Ohio State Buckeyes are the team that we thought they were. They just looked brilliant against Penn State. And Rutgers, they had an early lead against Indiana. They just could never get the lead back after making some careless turnovers and careless mistakes with the football. But Ohio State is favored by 38 points for a reason, and I think this one is pretty obvious. I do not see a way that Ohio State can lose this game at home in the shoe. I just do not see it. I think they're going to easily be able to take care of Rutgers here in this game. This is the homecoming for Greg Schiano. Remember, he was a defensive coordinator at Ohio State, now moving on to the Rutgers program. It's going to be exciting to see Greg Schiano back. I definitely, if Ohio State gets ahead by 40 points, I'll be rooting for Rutgers to score a couple points. But this game, it's really no contest. Ohio State wins big. Now we move on to game of the week in the Big Ten, and it's a pretty interesting game. It features the 23rd ranked Michigan Wolverines and the 13th ranked Indiana Hoosiers. This game is at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox Sports 1. This is going to be an interesting game. While it might not be the NCAA game of the week, it is a ranked versus ranked matchup, which are usually always pretty fun. You see Michigan is the 3-point favorite, with the over and under being 54 points even. Again, all lines and odds are as of recording this video. Indiana has surprised all of us. They went and they upset Penn State, and then they look pretty good against Rutgers. And while their offense isn't gaining a lot of yards, they take advantage of turnovers, and their defense forces turnovers when their opponent is backed up deep in their own end, which makes Indiana a really dangerous team to face. But as for Michigan, again, you got to wonder which Michigan is the true Michigan. They scored 49 points in their first game against Minnesota, and albeit Minnesota's defense doesn't look that great, then they faced Michigan State, a team that they went in 3 touchdown favorites, and they lost. So, again, it's going to be the case of which Michigan are we going to see. Is Michigan really the real deal, which is what we were all thinking after that win against Minnesota, but now after that loss, it kind of has you wondering again about the Michigan Wolverines. But there is no mistake for this Indiana team. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the upset here. I am going to pick the Indiana Hoosiers over the Michigan Wolverines. Now, every time I picked Michigan this season, I've been wrong. I picked Minnesota to beat Michigan, and I was wrong about that. And then I picked Michigan to beat Michigan State. I was also wrong about that. So who knows? I might continue my Michigan streak, but I just have a feeling that Indiana is going to pull out another big win at home this season. They definitely have the talent to do it. Indiana has always been a program that's close but not there, and I think that they get there. I think this is going to be a huge win for the Indiana program. Again, it's just the question of which Michigan are we going to see. I definitely think this game could go either way, but I'm going to go ahead and take a risk and pick the upset here. I would love to see Indiana do well. I always love to see teams that are down do well, but this is going to be a really interesting game. But I'm picking the Indiana Hoosiers coming with some big stops late down the stretch and beat the Michigan Wolverines. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Also consider subscribing if you are brand new to the channel, or you just enjoy my content. Turn on the notification bell so you do not miss an upload. And you can join Tailgate Nation. Also leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on this video and this week in the Big Ten. Feel free to leave your predictions down there as well. Also share this video with everyone you know. I'm trying to grow the channel as big as possible. So please forward this video to everyone who likes Big Ten football as much as you and me. Remember to play hard, but tailgate harder, and I'll see all y'all on Sunday with my week review. Goodbye.